Hey guys, it's Bowser64 and welcome to Windows 8. Today we're going to be talking about Windows 8 Start Screen. Now today, while we talk about the Start Screen, we're not going to be going into really the functions of the apps on the Start Screen. What we're going to be talking about specifically is just the way they're laid out, how to use them, how to manage data on your Start Screen, and how to interact with your computer. Now, a lot of you have noticed right out of the box that Windows 8 is incredibly different than Windows 7 and any of its predecessors. Well, that's very true, and for a good reason too. The main interface change is obviously the start screen taking place at the start menu as it was placed in traditional versions of Windows. Like, let's go into Desktop app and show you what's changed. So here I'm going to click on my Desktop app and I'm going to go here. As you can see, it looks a lot like Windows 7. The only thing that's missing is the start screen. And also, a lot of you detail people, oriented people, might notice that these are now square edges where the taskbar used to have more like glassy looking panes and things like that. Everything is designed to be really elegant and square and pretty plain in Windows 8 and clean cut, and it's really great. So here are my little files on my desktop. See, I have a Word document, and I have a WMA file, a MP3 of pastor's sermon, desktop stuff, and I've got all sorts of things, and then church notes, all sorts of things. I mean, you'd be really amazed with what you see here. Now, this is just looking at the documents on the desktop. As you can see, it interacts much like Windows 7. I actually renamed my recycle bin to Recycle It's Healthy. I have a whole bunch of stuff in the recycle bin that's not really important to this video. But anyway, I'm going to empty it so I have more memory. There we are. I feel so much happy. Okay, so much happier. So we're going to go back to the start screen, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to drag my mouse into the lower left-hand corner of the screen to where this preview comes up, says start, and has a whole bunch of tile things on it, and click my mouse once on the left and bring me to the start screen. So for those touchscreen users, the way you're going to interact with the start screen is just hold your finger in the middle of the screen and drag to the left. You cannot drag to the right if you are at the end of your start screen because it will just not go anywhere. I mean, it doesn't wrap around, it only progresses to the left when you're trying to look through your tiles. So these tiles are representatives of your apps, as you would have on a Windows Phone 7 or Windows Phone 7.5, 7.6, and especially the Windows Phone 8, which I think is the first to actually integrate live tiles, because before the tiles were stagnant, I was pretty sure. But I have not done a whole bunch of Windows Phone reviews and looked at it that much and had my hands on it to look at it, so I'm not really sure that I'm really telling you what you need to hear. But I'm pretty sure that the live tiles is a pretty fresh idea in the smartphone market and in the desktop environment computer market. Definitely in PCs. So here we are with the start screen. You swipe around, you look at your apps. That's basically all you do to get around your start screen. Now what you can do to see what you have installed and to switch more efficiently is you pinch to zoom. So you take your two fingers and you pinch closer to the center of your screen, and then you can see a zoomed out map representative of what you have installed on your start screen here as far as desktop apps and also Windows 8 apps. I will show you the difference in those later, but right now we're just going to be talking about the start screen and how to use it. So here, as you can see, I can swipe over here, I can select a group and just zoom in instantly based on where I touch. It's actually precise enough to actually zoom in exactly where you touch. See, if I touch Daemon Tools, it will actually zoom into Daemon Tools exactly where I press my finger. So it's very nice like that. And if I want to get to Word, I just zoom in. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Now, you can also rename the groups on your start screen by dragging in from the bottom of your touchscreen here, or selecting a group by touching it and dragging down, and then you click Name Group. See, if I want to name Windows 8 is awesome, I just type it in, and say name, and it already has the group named as Windows 8 is awesome. I zoom into the group, as you can tell right there, it still says Windows 8 is awesome. So that's great. And it's really easy to get around the start screen, especially when you zoom out and pinch to zoom to get around. Now, what else was I going to tell you? Oh, of course. Let's say you are running multiple apps at the same time. There's some really cool features with Windows 8 that I think a lot of you guys need to see. One of these is the Charms bar, which I will talk about later, but right now I'm going to be showing you how to switch apps very easily and efficiently. Also, I will show you how to run two apps side by side in the same same viewpoint and window, so that they're easy to get to and click on and interact with. So if I want to run Internet Explorer, see, I will open it, and it's already predefined to go to ASUS MSN, and I will open my DeviantArt page. That's great. Now, okay, so here I have Freda, which is my book reading app that I use most frequently, and Internet Explorer open in the same window. I can pinch to zoom in Internet Explorer as I normally would using it, and I can also access everything in this app on the left-hand side of the screen. This is a Tailspin story that I wrote, and it is pretty fun. But anyway, another thing you can do, say you're running two apps side by side, you can click this, or you can touch it with your finger, drag it over to the left-hand side of the screen, stop just before the edge, leave it like that. You now have this slightly more minimized to take 2/3 of your screen, maximized, not minimized, to take 2/3 of your screen viewing area, and now you can view things here more efficiently while, for instance, keeping an eye on what's running over there on the left. Now, you can also interact with Internet Explorer as you would any other time. Say if I go to Facebook or Bing, I will go to Bing, see, and I will just go to Bing by touching it, my frequent websites, and it's going to look pretty much the same as it would otherwise if I was just running it in full desktop view. So we're going to switch to full desktop, or this isn't really a desktop, so I don't know how to describe it, full screen view for this Internet Explorer 10 app, and which comes with Windows 8. And now you can see it's the whole screen. So say I'm going to type in Bowser in 64 on it and go to my YouTube, it should bring out like a whole bunch of there's my YouTube channel, it brings it up. Or if I actually type in GameShark Pro N64, it's going to bring up my GameShark Pro 3.3 demonstration, and it's going to be awesome. Or it usually does anyway, but it's not because it's Bing. Google would do that, however, and I'm going to be showing you some cool Google apps in just a minute. Now, in fact, I'm actually going to show you right now. This is my Google search app, and see, there's another thing you can do. You can left click on an app to enlarge its size of the tile on the start screen, or you can actually just select it with your finger, pull down a little bit. That's the same as selecting it with your right click. You can uninstall, unpin it from your start screen, or make it larger. And that's what I'm going to do, is make it larger. Now, see, I don't really like it large because I like to have everything the same size, so I'm going to make it smaller, bring it back to where it was. So now everyone's happy again. I'm going to click it, go into it, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a voice search. As you can see, it works a lot like an iPhone app. In fact, it already understood that I said that and took me to the Apple Store as first result. So it's really a cool app. It's very easy to find too, because it's very much an official app that's just like developed by a company, so it's going to have plenty of features and not many crashes and things like that. So what was I going to search for? Yes. GameShark Pro N64. There you go. There's my video right there. As you can see, it's pretty accurate and it's very easy to use. It works a lot like a tablet. And there's the video. It's currently unavailable for some reason because I'm running a lot of stuff right now. And it probably has something to do with it. So you have apps for everything you can think of. But today we're just going to be talking about how to use the start screen. So we're going to go over everything you can do with it. Like I said, if you click down on an app and drag down a little bit, you can make it larger, or if you so desire, you can make it smaller, or you can also uninstall it, which I really don't want to do because not even for a demonstration, because they're hard to install once you uninstall them, especially if they came with your system. They're hard to locate in the Windows Store and find. So today I'm going to show you the options that are actually on your user account name up here. Like, you can change your account picture, and that's pretty much self-explanatory. You take a picture from your camera, or you go into your People app, select a picture, or you browse into your hard drive and select a picture you want for all this. PC settings is where now, like, pretty much a hub for where you change most of your common Windows 8 relevant features, as far as your settings and Windows Update, search, all sorts of stuff. However, a control panel on the desktop is generally more featured than the Windows 8 settings that's accessed by Change PC Settings in the Charms bar. Now, we haven't really talked about the Charms bar. The Charms bar is something that is definitely cool about Windows 8. Now, but what we haven't even showed you how to switch apps yet, so we really need to stay focused and do that. So I'm going to open up Video, and I'm going to open up the Store, and I'm going to open up the Google search app, and then I'm going to open up SkyDrive, and I'm going to open up Internet Explorer, and I'm going to open up People, and I'm going to open up News or Finance, and I'm going to open up Skype, and then I'm going to open up, I think that's enough. I mean, seriously, that's poor computer. And we already have that open. So right now we obviously have a lot of stuff running, right? Okay, so now you know how to use the start screen. So how do you get to your apps that are running? You go into your Windows desktop. Here's confusion issue number 1. All you see down here is what you normally use in your desktop environment. I mean, you don't see those apps you're running, do you? Where are they? I don't see them. How do I get to them? Well, that's because they're running in the desktop or the environment of Windows 8. It's a very touch-oriented environment, but it can be used with the keyboard and a mouse, as I am doing right here, and I'll show you how to do that later. So I'm going to drag in from the left side of my screen with my finger. As you can see, there is my desktop right there. It's a full enriched detailed preview, and there is Tailspin running in Freda, my book reader app. There's my desktop again. There's Skype, and then here's Finance, and then here is People, which is kind of like it's kind of the same thing as Rooms for the Windows Phone, and you can see what's up with your people and stuff. I find it kind of hard to use, so I don't really use it that much, but it's kind of fun to open it up and look at it sometimes. And this is, of course, my avatar. And it's going to take me to my Facebook and my most recent posts and stuff like that. Kind of cool. So that's the way you've switched between all of your apps that you really want to see at a glance. But there's a better way to do it. If you swipe in from the left side of your screen and drag back, you can have this bar come out that actually just shows you previews of every single program you have running. So all I have to do at this point is either click on one of these and go to the program directly, or the start screen, which will take me back to here, or I can actually touch it and switch to that app. See, if I want to switch to the middle of the list, which is generally a hard thing to do, I just tap Skype and I'm there. See? And if I want to switch to SkyDrive, I just tap the end and I'm there. See? So it's very easy to use, and I can also tap the start screen icon and get back there. Now, that's pretty much the easiest way to switch apps. Of course, in the Windows desktop environment, you still have Alt-Tab to look at all the stuff you have running So there is a way to switch between stuff in the desktop, because even your apps count as programs while you're in the Windows 8 desktop. But it's just generally more efficient and savvy and easier to get it actually accessed by swiping in from the left of your touchscreen. Now, a lot of you guys don't have touchscreens, so what do you do if you don't have a touchscreen? It's pretty simple, really. All you have to do is move your mouse into the upper right hand corner, well, upper left hand corner right now, and I'll show you a preview of what is running most recently in the background. So you click once and you can switch, or you can just keep clicking until you get to the app you want to view. And it's really pretty easy. So I really don't understand how anybody could go wrong looking at stuff. So, but in case that's not enough, they did allow you to have that pane view where you have access to all the preview windows of what you're running. So what you want to do, if you want to get to that, you go to your upper left hand corner and drag down, and all of this pops up, and you have that same interface that I used to touch a program and switch to it efficiently and quickly as I showed you earlier. Of course, you can click your start screen icon and get to it that way also, and it's just really easy to use. So let's go into the Charms bar and the functions of the Charms bar. Now, the Charms bar is a new feature that is only with Windows 8. It has not been in any other feature of Windows. That includes Windows 7, Windows 7 Ultimate. So here you have Search, Share, Start, which takes you to your start screen if you touch or click it, Devices, and Settings. Now, before I start, what's really cool about this Charms bar is, as you can see, it shows you your wireless strength, your battery strength, your time, even your date. As you can tell, it just changed to 1 minute as we were looking at it, so it's a live update of what's down here. So we're going to look at this again. Again, how you access the Charms bar. You bring your mouse to the upper hand right of the screen, drag down, and it just materializes, and you can select any of these. So the cool thing about Search, I'm going to show you, is that it's relevant to whatever app or whatever program you have open at the time of opening the Charms bar. So right now I'm in the desktop, so everything it's going to search on immediately is relevant to the desktop. See, if I want to search Dragon, it will bring up my Dragon app. And why does it do that? Because I have the apps category selected in the right hand side of the screen here. You see where the pink bar is over apps? It's only searching in my apps for Dragon. Now if I want to search in my settings, I can just go into settings and click it, and it will bring up that. See, now let's see if, say I wanted to change my resolution, okay? I type in resolution into settings, it brings up adjust screen resolution. But if I did that in apps, there's no resolution app, so it won't bring that. And it'll always bring up files generally, because somehow files always have some information for them that, yeah, see, there you go. And that's that. Now I'm going to go into Dragon again, and see, it brings up my Dragon app, as I said. Settings, it will bring up nothing, because I have no settings that are related to dragons. Who would? And I have files that are related to dragons. In fact, that's pretty much all I have on my hard drive is dragon related stuff, because I am one after all. So it's, you know, it's pretty obvious that's the way that would work. As you can see, I have a lot of my files here that are dragon related, and I can just swipe through them, or I can use my mouse that I was doing there. Now, see, there's documents, so I just touch documents or click these, and I can get my pictures, all related by dragons, music, or I can bring up my videos, other. Not really sure what the other category is about yet, but it's still pretty organized. So we're going to go back into the Charms bar, and we're going to search in a different app. See, let's say we wanted to search in video. Now this is Xbox Video. It is basically a video streamer and a video player for videos on your hard drive, and both those on YouTube, the TV store, movie store. I'm not really sure about YouTube, but I'm pretty sure it can do it. And all that. Now, as I said, search is relevant to whatever program you have open. So if I wanted to search Jack the Beanstalk, it's gonna try to search Jack the Beanstalk in the video app. And it should find most recent trailers for Jack the Giant Killer, which it did. And I don't know what that other movie is. Apparently I came in under the wire. So it's pretty cool like that. And on top of that, it remembers what people search the most and what you search the most often. So now another thing, if you're lazy and you don't want to actually go to your start screen and open the app like this, you can just open up your Charms bar, say search, click the store, it opens the store. You're looking at the Windows Store, say I want to search dragon, and it will automatically bring up suggestions. You hit this, searches, or you can hit that or press enter, however much you desire, and you get all these apps that are brought up as results. It's pretty sweet. So we're going to close Windows Store, and I'm actually going to close all of my apps. So again, swipe in from the left, bring back to the left edge, got video, gonna swipe down with my finger, and then I'm gonna bring up my desktop. There's really no point in closing your desktop, but save memory, I guess, like a tiny bit. But I'm gonna put my finger at the top of the screen, drag down until it minimizes into the bottom of the screen into a place that doesn't exist anymore, and then whatever that means. And I'm gonna do the same to this. I'm just gonna keep doing that because I'm really now. As you can tell, I'm wasting time in the way I'm doing that. I don't have to bring out that bar. All I have to do is this. See, right now I only have two documents or two programs open, so I'm just going to swipe in my SkyDrive and close them. As you can see, my computer got a lot faster. Okay, so as I said, the search is relevant to what program you're in. Now, if I wanted to search finance, let's say I would bring up finance and I would search for gold. Finance is an app that's pretty big and at time kind of takes a while to bring up. And as you can see, it's already looking at an article about gold because, you know, being what I am, I'm kind of obsessed with shiny objects. So I'm going to hit search, and I'm not really sure you can search this app. Oh yes, you can. So there you go. See, prices of gold, I'm guessing this is. Yeah, there you are. Ord's gold. So that's cool. Now, share is cool, but you can't really use it in very many places. So what you gotta do, you just gotta use it sparingly. So you got to wait. Yeah, I'm just clicking around like a maniac. Share does not work on the desktop because you can't really share anything from the desktop. I mean, it's a private environment. So what I can do is I can open an Internet Explorer. I can go to, say, my DeviantArt page or Facebook, and I can look at something, and I can bring up the share, and it will say getting info, and then I can like share to my People app or mail a web page to someone, or if my apps support it, I can actually share into one of my apps and go from there. So I'm done with the Internet Explorer, and that's how the share works. It works different in a lot of different environments, just like a lot of these things on the Charms bar, say it's just like search and things like that. And then of course start brings you back to your start screen, or takes it away and lets you back into what you were looking at before you pressed it. And then devices. Devices is cool because if you have like a second screen connected, you can actually define the way you want it to interact with your computer. Now, the devices also works different based on what screen you're looking at, but I haven't really figured out how to use that part of the Charms bar to my advantage really that much, because I mean I don't really have much of a use for it because I'm not much of a sharing person. I never share. I'm conceited and I'm selfish, so I don't really care to. So settings, this is definitely interesting. Settings are relevant to what you are looking at the time of pulling out the Charms bar. So these control panels, the same thing you would open by going to Start and Control Panel in Windows 7. As you can see, it looks a lot like Windows 7 except for the square edges of the Explorer window, and it's pretty much not changed. Now you can also access this by right-clicking in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen where it brings up the Start preview and going through this list of stuff right here. Again, you have to right-click, you cannot left-click, or you will go to the Start screen itself. Has to be a right-click. Here you can bring up some control panel features like Programs and Features, which allows you to uninstall and reinstall programs, and it's pretty sweet. And these are actually programs here, and if it's not enough, you can get to your control panel there also, and it's pretty sweet. So settings, personalization is a control panel area that you can bring up by just pressing on the charge bar. And you can get to your themes where you can select your desktop background, your color of your desktop, sounds, your screensaver, your display options, taskbar, ease of access center control panel, change desktop icons, mouse pointers, all that good stuff. And that's that. What I'm going to show you, which will be the conclusion for this video, is how to actually define settings of each app that you open. Now, it's pretty tricky because a lot of you would expect each app to have its own settings window built in, right? Wrong. It's all built into the charms bar, which is at the same time cool and confusing. It's confusing because it's too simple, and it's also confusing because it's you know, hard. So here we are. Let's see which app would have a lot of settings. Freda, for instance. This is my book reader. And see, I'm looking at my Tailspin story right here. And see, I want to adjust my text appearance. The way I got to that was by going to Settings in the charms bar and going to Text Appearance. You can see right here it's reading out Freda by Turnipsoft, which is telling you that the only thing that this settings icon is going to apply to in this context is the program you're looking at. So I'm going to go into Text Appearance right there. As you can see, it brings up Freda's own text appearance control panel, and I have my controls, have all sorts of things going on there. I'm going to close this app to save memory, although it probably doesn't really take that much. Final thing I want to tell you guys about. Cool thing about Windows 8 is that it does away with the Start menu, and a lot of you may miss the Start menu or the Start button because it was very easy to get to all your documents. Well, please stop complaining because now it's made even easier. As if pinch to zoom your start screen was not enough, Windows 8 actually places every program you install in a tile as an icon, as you would see in your start menu. So I don't know if a lot of you remember in Windows 7 and Windows XP and all those old Windows versions, you would see little preview icons of what each program had. It had its own icon and stuff. Well, now these are like put in the center of a tile and put on your start screen, so all you have to do is touch them. Say if I want to open Microsoft Word, I click it or I touch it and it opens instantly. If I want to look at my most recent Tailspin story, I bring up chapter2.docx, type in my password. Come on, I said password. And I get to it. So it's very easy to boot a program. I mean, it's probably even easier than using a start menu, I think. So we're going to go back to that. And also it's important to note that not all of your desktop programs will have icons that look like this. In fact, any of your programs that run in your desktop environment will not have a fully featured block tile like this with colors surrounding it with the words on top and the icon, because it's not a Windows 8 app. Only Windows 8 apps have this display orientation. So that's cool. And as you can see, it's still easy to use. If I wanted to get to something like my games, I just go over here and get to them, or I swipe through my screen until I get to them as well. That pretty much sums up how to use Windows 8. There are a couple other things that I need to show you. For instance, if you are in an app, the main way you're going to be interacting with it is with your right click if you're on a desktop. As you can see, it brings up your apps under the Windows Store app when I open it and I right click, and I don't really need that. So I can also get to it by swiping in from the bottom of the screen or the top of the screen, and I can interact with it that way. Now, normally it would bring up a list of all of my apps that I have installed on my computer, but I mean, it's pretty obvious that I don't really need that list because I'm a geek and I know where everything is at all times, and I make sure that I always have everything I need because, like I said, I'm awesome. I mean, okay, I'm just kidding. I'm not really that arrogant. But anyway, we will be showing you other things about Windows 8 in our next video. Thank you for staying patient for almost 30 minutes in learning how to use Windows 8. This is a start screen tutorial of how to orient yourself in the new operating system and figure out its main features and basically how to use it at its core level. And we're going to be doing more advanced walkthroughs later as the month progresses. This is my first Windows 8 video, my first walkthrough video on how to use an operating system ever, and I hope that I covered everything I need to. Please leave comments below on suggestions, and please be nice and keep it clean. And thanks for watching my video, and I hope I see you around on YouTube with another video much like this one, and I hope I maintain the same quality. And I hope that you have a great night, and you wake up and you have a great sleep and you have a great productive day tomorrow, and I think I'm done talking to you. Alright, this has been Bowser64 signing out. Here we go. That was awesome.